Alright. Let's get started, shall we? Watchpoint Gibraltar. Let me just read your comment you have for this one here, just to make sure I'm not missing anything crucial. Replay submissions. Let's see here. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hey, I need some help with these. I've been played since season 2 and have climbed from bronze to plat in about 9 seasons, but I just can't climb out of plat. I've been plat for 12 seasons now, and on main bastion I usually do pretty well as him. In this game I would say I did pretty well. I sort of ignored the Genji when he was going for me. I try to flank or go for places they've been expected bastions, so wait, hold up. I gotta read all of this first. Alright, I try to flank or go for, I was in a group with the Roadhog, Grandpa Zen, and the Fisher Cat, and me and Sim usually do a teleport strat, which usually confuses the enemy team trying to flank me. Sometimes I need help with this when I change my position and when to use my ult. Some things I need help with is when to change my position and when to use my ult. Okay, perfect, because that's what I'm really good at. I tried to figure this out myself and watch most of my replays, but I can't see anything wrong. I'm prepared to put hard work into climbing to diamond, but I think I need to fix a few habits. Thank you for your time, Panda. Alright, Mr. Panda Animals 15. Very good name, by the way. First off, let's check your choice of skin. Alright. Fine, you get a pass. That's not a bad skin. Alright. Let's get started, shall we? Speed through this. I'm not going to skip anything. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's figure out where you set up first. You have a Reinhardt with you, not a road. You got a Roadhog as well. Where are you TPing to? Where is that TP? Oh, I see. Spamming voice lines always a good option. That was an interesting. Wait, hold up. What the heck? I mean, I also don't fully understand the dynamic of console, so you'll have to bear with me here. I mean, you should be trying to shoot faster a little there. I understand you might not be able to see that or press the button fast, but yes, you should try to be shooting as fast as possible as soon as they come out the door. Now let's see. This is an interesting spot, but I would not flank here, personally. That's good. I would flank. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to just tell you where I wouldn't flank. I'm going to tell you where I would. Right here is a really good sim TP spot. Assuming you can get the angle correctly. If you can't, then that's a bit of an issue and you can't really go for this spot. What you could have done is you could put the sim TP here. And that would have been a little bit better because now if you're flanking here, which I assume, well, I mean, kind of going for a flank. You're not really going for a real flank, but you're going for a place where they wouldn't expect you to be, which is a good strat, and I like that. It's just that if you were over here, though, you would have a lot more agency in being able to surprise them. Over here, if there was an Ana ready with a sleep dart, she'd immediately sleep you and you're all set. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know how people's reaction time are in plat console, but if they're anything sort of decent, you'd get hooked or slapped immediately. Now, let's see here. Now, I'm not bashing console here, by the way. I just don't really know the dynamic. Okay. TP up. Kill the Torbjorn. This is interesting. Yep. Okay, they have a Roadhog now. That means you should not go back up that teleporter. And that is why. Back to what I was saying. You should... This is very unprofessional, I apologize. But regardless, you shouldn't always go for the same TP over and over and over, because eventually they're going to start camping it like this Torbjorn did. So, alternatively, what you could have done, right, Let's skip right here. Where are you? Oh, boop. So the fact that you stayed at this teleporter resulted in you dying. Jesus Christ, I can't focus on you. There it is. See, now they know you're going to come out of here, so the Torbjorn wants to go camp that telly because he knows you're going to TP up there. So you shouldn't go for the same spot. You can't expect the same flank to work if you just keep on doing it. I mean, it might work eventually, but if you're really looking to get to diamond, that's what I'm going to give a good suggestion to you here. Let's see what you got. Actually, I should probably also show you where you could have gone instead of going for that teleport again. You could have teleported up here and then like maybe drop behind them or something. Instead of, or when you're down here, maybe you could just like back up a little behind cart or something, because now they have to worry about you outside of the range. Ideally outside of the Roadhog hook, so like maybe around, it's like right around here is a good spot, specifically on the right side, because there's a little curve here, and if you hit this pipe, you don't hit anyone. So if you're over on the right side and you're right around here, sorry, I don't really do this. I mean, I do actually a lot, but regardless, my camera skills aren't great. So like here's a really good spot because you're outside the Roadhog hook and Orisa range, but don't camp there from the beginning. Like I like what you're doing here, but you just can't keep going between from here to here, here to here, here to here, because eventually you're gonna get weeded out. So you need to know when to move. Yeah. So I would have that last TP up was a little dangerous in general, mainly because they have a Roadhog too. So I would, instead of going up for that TP, I would have probably just backed up a little and like fired while I was backing up. There's no shame in doing that. Oh, clicked off you again. There we go. All right, camping for high ground. That's good. Please camp. All right. Ooh, you lost your high ground immediately as soon as you wanted it. That's interesting. Okay, I'll let this play pull out first before I say anything. Alt now. Oh, okay. All right. It's fine. Oh, you're telling your teammate, I see. Mm-hmm. Okay, good spot, I like it. It's interesting. It's not... Hey, at least you're covering high ground, that's not bad. Ooh. Sorry for yawning. Jesus. Not professional at all. Don't go after this Genji, he's gonna deflect. Okay, good, you got out of turret form, that was smart. Set up now. I would be dumping your ult now. There's so many juicy targets to click. Oh, not click, or to shoot. Regardless. There, he's dead. Good. Mm-hmm. Again, ulting here would be great. See, now you're ulting, but now you've already won the team fight. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm gonna pull this boy all the way back. Because this was a really interesting well, I wouldn't say bad play, but there's a lot of stuff that I feel like can be improved on here. And if you want to get to diamond, you gotta get ready for this. So yeah. All right. Let me back up there for a second. Why did you go for this high ground and then immediately immediately tell yourself, nah, I don't need it, and then jump off? It might have been because you knew there was a teleporter there, but honestly, you could have just sat here and farmed them for free up here. You don't need to shoot this through this amp to get all of your value. If you're up here, okay, so let me put it out this way, right? If you shoot down here, you're gonna get more value and more damage. That's always looks cool on paper, right? You're doing 900 damage per second. That's always cool, right? But think about this for a second, right? If you're sitting here, you have probably a fairly small, but a chance of getting hooked by this Roadhog, or just getting killed, or what have you, right? Now, but imagine if you were here, right? Now you have a much probably significantly more than half of your chances of dying, because the only thing that can really shoot you here is the Orisa. And like tactically the Torbjorn, but like so you can farm so much free damage up here if you just sit here and shoot, right? Obviously, if you start taking damage, you have this cover here, which I love to use, and you also have a doorway here if you start getting killed by a Genji or something. And if you start, actually no, if you start getting killed by a Genji, you wouldn't back up to this door, but you would jump down to your healers. But regardless, it's very important that you have to understand that even though the amp is here, you still certainly could do more if you weren't at that amp and you have a significantly less chance of dying, even though this doubles your damage, because your entire team is getting value from that amp. You don't need to also get value from that amp. Now, if you did want to get out value from that amp, you wouldn't want to do it here. You want to do it over here, because now you have less of a chance of dying because you're further away from them, and you still get your full damage. I mean, it might be a little bit less because damage drop off is a thing, but honestly, if that's not 30 meters, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, that's a lot. I'm throwing a lot at you, but I'm shoving as much as I can into this, so I can give you enough information. Now, let's take a look. So yeah, just going for that high ground and then immediately releasing it from you was just such a weird play. I understand, but like you should never go for the high ground unless you want to keep it, right? Because if you weren't going to this high ground, you could have just gone through the doorway and it would have been fine. Like you could have set up a turret farm there, but you didn't. So turret farm here to kill the turret. Like you could turret farm here easily, but instead you do it in recon, which is fine. Yeah, but see, now you're so close, and you almost got hooked by that Roadhog, but you didn't. But you could have gone. And also, ulting here would easily kill this Genji. I'm just pointing this out. Ulting against Genji, just shoot at the ground and don't shoot at him, because even if he has the reaction time to deflect the bullet, if you just shoot him twice in AoE damage, it should kill him, because it does 120 AoE. Or 3 shots if it's really necessary. Though there was only one person, so honestly, it may not have been a great play to ult him there. But, oh well. We'll just see how this goes. See, this is fine, right? This is good optimal camping. Dropping down is right play here. This I disagree with. Going for there, because it's so jumping down from here and going to here rather than over here. Because if you're going for this corner, you have a lot more agency to be behind a shield and get healed by your actually shoot them. But when you went for this corner, it's a lot more secure, yes, but you're not getting, because the cart isn't far enough to the point where they're where the healers are. I mean, because the cart isn't far enough to close to here, the healers or anyone really isn't going to be far enough for you to shoot them. So you decide to reposition, which is really smart. Instead of sitting there and just waiting, which is good, because now you're contesting the cart more. But had you been over here, per se, now you take, like, you have no chance of getting shot, and almost no chance of dying, because if the Genji dives you, you have, like, tanks near you that could just swing, and, like, a BAP, and, like, all that jazz. So, get the idea. I sincerely hope. If something doesn't make sense to me, by the way, just DM me, and I'll explain it more in depth. Now, sitting where you are now, that's pretty cool. Also, this is just a terrible ult play. There's like 2 alive, honestly, so staying in turret here is... Okay, so... Let me point something. Actually, I don't know if this is a... Alright, let's see here. You go for this play, which I disagree with, but a pretty good bunkering spot if they were actually trying to win the fight. But there's 3 people alive right now. Like, that's a pretty good ult, but honestly, you have 6 up, so maybe it's not a great idea to burn the ult here. But my question is, why didn't you ult here? Because now the enemy team is burning 2 ults, and shooting Moira is so easy, but now you ulted after your Reinhardt confirmed it with a Shatter, which is fine, but now you've killed 1 person, and you've gotten almost no value out of your ult. Good thing you know how to rocket jump, though. That's smart. I like this positioning. It's a little janky. I've held here before, and you usually get hooked by a Roadhog. They did switch to ball, and you're super susceptible to a Genji on high ground, which actually might be happening right now. Yep, there it is. He didn't see you, though, so you're good there. You're dead. Oh, wait. No, you have a TP near you. Good. You moved. All right. Now, set up in turret form and shoot this ball. Or break first. Good. Okay. Shoot the Genji. Okay. You said you ignored Genji. That might be what you're talking about. Okay, so... yeah, I don't know if killing the Genji there would have been worth it. I don't know how good your aim is, really. And based on this, I would say that it's probably pretty okay. I would practice a lot on your aim, honestly, because I see a lot of places where better aim would help you so much. Okay, you should have moved much faster there, because shooting him in turret form means you get shot by Molten Core, and the only reason you survived is because you had a BAP. But if you realized you had a BAP and you decided to stick it because you knew you had a BAP, that was smart. Even though you could have just gotten recon, it would have been a lot safer. Okay. Where'd you tell her to go? Up top, that's smart, good. Alright. I hope you're communicating with your sim, and your sim is not just like... you're not just telling your sim what to do. Your sim isn't just like putting teleports up and you just go for it. All right, good. Go for, shoot that, Winston. Keep shooting. If you shoot it, shoot the bubble. Shoot the bubble. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. Good. Liking it. I might want like going for a bit better of a flank might be okay, considering you have a sim and you can always just reposition yourself back on top of this ship here. So let me show you again what I mean. Once they push up, actually no, I'm gonna wait for them to push up so I can actually explain this a little bit better. You may understand what I'm saying already, but I would like to put it into words just so you can get an idea. This is a very good spot. I like it a lot. There's a Reaper behind you. Don't be afraid. Yep. Keep shooting him. Good. Okay. Yeah, you're essentially invincible up here. Okay. See, now this is where you go for the ballsy play. Or a little bit more, not a ballsy play, but an aggressive, dominating play. Or a more value obtaining play. So I would might want to hold like. So the problem with, I love holding here, but the problem with holding here is that the cart's here, and if they're gonna do the fight, they're gonna do it on a cart, right? Now, maybe your team is smart enough to the point where they'll bring the fight to here, but usually they don't do that. So the fact that you're holding up here is good, because it's very good positioning, and it's very hard for you to die here. But at the same time, you're getting like no value by sitting up here, because you're not covering where the fight's happening, which is on cart. You're covering where cart's going to be, which is fine, but your team is gonna fight on cart and not give it up, because that's how teams like to play. They're if they wanted to back up to this point, it's a little bit more risky, because now you have to actually give them cart, which is hard to do, and honestly not something you should be doing. Not giving them cart is the better play here. So what I would like to see would be more of camping, like, because at this point you should always be to be better at Bastion, you should always be checking what the enemy team has. And because if you look now, they have a Genji, Torbjorn, Hammond, Ball, Moira, Lucio. So let's think about this together for a second here. If you deployed here and you tried to go for a kill, what is the likelihood you're going to die? The answer to me, I'd say, is probably very low. Even though the Torbjorn is Torbjorn and he can shoot you from long range, that's the only person that can shoot you from long range. So, I mean, Genji is a Genji, but Winston's not a problem at all, because your self-heal out heals his damage, so he's not a threat at all, and also he's a big target, so it's very easy to kill him. Moira's not a threat at all, because her damage is even less than Winston. Ball's not a problem, because no ball's really good enough to get up here that you're really gonna find in plat specifically. Maybe when you hit diamond, but I'm not entirely sure. They switched to ball mainly because contest, and you have to understand that if a person switches to something for contest purposes, that means that they're not as good as what they were playing. If they were playing hog earlier, that means they're good at hog, or they play hog decently, and they're not great at ball, or they just don't play ball as much because they only play it in contesting scenarios. So that's my rundown for you. That's a lot of things to think about, and I understand. Now, I would have liked maybe a play like here. Not necessarily shoot them from here. Actually, no, it wouldn't be a terrible play to shoot them from here. The Genji can dive you and maybe kill you, so that's not a great idea. There's a health pack there, but it's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a play from on this upper part of the bridge, and then once the team has pushed past, jump behind them and go into turret form and kill them from behind here. That's a little bit of more of an elaborate flank, but with Bastion, and I'm thinking with console aiming, it's going to be very, very easy for you to get like net like at least 2 kills here, and that's enough to win a team fight. Because 2 kills specifically on either one tank or one healer, or both healers or both tanks, is like so incredibly impactful that it's almost always worth it. Going for these flanks is not always a great idea, because if they have an Ana or a Roadhog, they'll just stun you and now you don't get to be in turret form anymore. But considering they don't have any of that, this is a very fine play as soon as they push Pat Choke. I'll show you when you should have done this. The Winston's trying to assassinate you, I believe. And you shoot at him, you know you're not a threat, so you don't TP, that's good. He's almost dead. Okay, you TP back, which is fine. You TP'd up, but you dropped immediately. Yeah, so, like, now. Now would have been great. Or, no, not now. Hold on, let me back up a bit. Like, now. Look at that. Look at those juicy people to just be shot. But instead you decide, oh, no, I'm going to camp over here. Which is fine. Kind of low, so you retreat. That's fine. You heal yourself up. What do? Tank ult here. It's the last fight. It doesn't matter. I don't see why you're not committing your tank ult here, because it's very easy. Yeah, okay, now you're committing it. But, like, imagine how you'd done it, like now, right? Like, you see all those people on point, and it's just so easy because AoE damage with Bastion ult and all that. And also, Bastion ult tries to ult so fast. Okay, so that was good. Shooting this Winston's good. But, like, yeah, you could totally ult now. If Moira ever ults, it's usually a good idea to pop Bastion ult, because it's super easy to kill her with just one shot. Even if you don't direct hit her, you can hit her with 3 AoEs and it will still kill her. Regardless, like, you could have ulted here, but instead you could go for the Torbjorn kill. But now you understand you should ult, which is good. But you just could have ulted so much earlier. But regardless. Okay. Uh-oh. Wait. Alright, let's see here. Ooh, good play. I like it. I'm liking it. Set turret form. Actually, that's fine. So, okay. I gotta explain something here. Winston is so not a threat to Bastion in the slightest. You should never be scared of Winston ever. Unless you're, like, low, but even then, you have self-heal. It doesn't really matter almost ever. His damage is so low that you can just self-heal. Like, you're going for a health pack because you want to, like, go for heals because you'd want to win the fight. But, like, you totally could have easily killed him. Specifically just then, yeah, you most certainly could have just, like, sat in turret form and started shooting that Hammond, because he's not a threat to you, really, because you can just heal. Good healing. I would sit more to your left, like a little bit of a more over here. When you went for that play, which is a very fine play. I want you to, like, sit more over here, because now you have more agency over this corner, rather than playing the corner more to the offside where they can back up a lot easier. Instead, you play the more aggressive side, and you, like, play here. That's good. Let's see where you go now. You're moving, which is good. You need to move more, and you need to move in the more better spots. But you're at least moving, and you're not just sitting on cart, which is good. Good Bastion play, actually. You're doing better than some of the people that I've worked with, so. Good move. Good movement. Good movement. You didn't hear him. That's okay. Okay. What are you doing? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're in mortality field. You're okay. Roadhog cook though. Yeah. Okay? So what happened there was that you were indecisive, and that's kind of bad because if you want to go for out of sentry play, you need to commit to that option. Unless you're 100% sure that you just thought of something that was really, really important, you need to commit to certain options, or else you're not doing anything as Bastion because you're just reconfiguring. You're literally doing absolutely nothing then. You're contributing nothing to the team fight, so you need to be more aware when, like, a mortality field came out before this mines, I'm pretty sure. So you need to be more aware that the mortality field came out. And specifically committing to that would not have been a terrible play. Good movement there. I like that. Well, I'm questioning why you didn't set up here. Did you hear the Torbjorn? Maybe. Like, here would have been a good setup. And you did. My question is, why did you move? I guess you saw the Hammond ult and you got scared. Which is... Oh, actually, I gotta show you something that's really important. Hammond ult, like, does... absolutely almost, like, you can almost always, in almost every scenario, unless the Hammond is really good, you are almost 100% guaranteed to live the Hammond ult even without a BAP or any healing at all while in turret form specifically. The reason that Hammond ult kills people is because it boops them between mines and pushes them into others. But because you're in turret form, you only get hit by like 1 or 2. Because you only get hit by 2, you're still at like nearly 100 health, which is fine because you're not taking any more damage because the Hammond just ulted. If you take more damage, then obviously you might die, but you have self-heal, which is really strong anyways, so sticking it out while in Hammond ult is like kind of okay. It's like how Tracer Pulse Bomb doesn't kill Bastion while in turret form. Yeah, you got up because you're scared of a Hammond ult, but you realize you have amp, so you stay in, but now you die because you wasted those precious seconds inside amp. Okay. Let's see what you do here. If I sound out of breath at all, I apologize. I recently did some stuff, but okay. Good, you know that spot. That's important. I don't know why you went for it though, because yeah. This is dangerous. That's an amp. I don't have much long range. I would stick it out as long as you can. Okay, good. I see that you're holding on to tank ult a lot. Because of the way Bastion's damage works, you really never really need to hold on to tank ult, because if you get like 1 or 2 kill, you just won the game. And tank ult's so easy to confirm on a squishy. Because you just need to tap him twice, even if you don't direct hit. Okay, stay here, don't move. Good. Now shoot this Genji. Good. Alright. He's got some sauce, that's good. Why are you ulting here? Like, I don't... It might be a conservative play, but I would have totally ulted there. I mean, it's 4v6, so maybe not. But even so, like, if you kill them all now, it's a 2v6 for next fight, and you've won the game. Alright, good. I would probably get off cart now. You're taking a lot of pressure. Okay, you got a mortality field. You can move off. That's good. You go back on because you realize it's a mortality field. Mortality field's down, so I don't know how long I would hold this position. Though they don't have a lot of long range, like Soldier or Widow or something, so this is actually fine. Okay, yeah, there's a good ult. But see, in that time frame where I told you you could ult, and then now, you would have ult again. That's the funny thing about Bastion damage, is that ult generates really fast. Okay. Stay on point, stay on point, stay on point. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Yeah, I see you holding onto ult a lot. Honestly, with Bastion ult, if you think the fight is at all scary or you have any chance of losing it, popping it just as an ult or just popping it immediately is like, it's such a good option. I mean, it's such a like a non-punishing option because Bastion generates ult so quickly because of how high his damage is. I didn't see a lot of more range plays. I saw very close-ups. Back where I was talking, I want to see more range because also now you don't have to move your cursor as much, which is really nice. Like here's good. Here's a good use of Bastion's range. It's pretty solid. But like, also, something to keep in mind is that while you're healing, you should almost always look at the enemy. It might be a little bit hard to coordinate, but it's usually a good idea. Now, let's see here. You see, I don't know, like your Reinhardt just killed 2. Like after the Reinhardt shattered, you really never needed to commit the ult here, and now you've only gotten 1 kill with it. Which is normally how many you'd get, or maybe 2, but like now that kill really didn't matter. He would have died anyways, you know? I get it to try to commit onto a Reinhardt shatter with the ultimate, but you get what I'm saying. Good. Shoot the brig first. Yeah. It's just, yeah. Specifically, yeah, like when you went for this play, right? Like, why didn't you hold this high ground? It would have been such a good spot to hold, but instead you decided to drop down. You need to, like, stay at range of Roadhog hook, Roadhog's hook length away. Because, like, nothing can hurt you at that range, and you can do all your damage from there. Like, you really don't need to be this far up. And now that's why you have to leave and start healing. There's also a Genji, which is a little bit of a problem, but... if that Genji were nanoed, you definitely should have ulted there. Unless he was going for you and he was really good. But regardless. Alright. You need to utilize the range of Bastions to Sentry Mode more. Honestly, you need to practice your aim more, I'd say. I would maybe look into like some going into practice range or something, or maybe a custom game where the bots can't fire or something along those lines. Because that would be really good for getting a sense of how to aim well. Yeah. So my greatest advice for you is most likely you need to, it's not that you need to move more, which is usually the problem. So the fact that you've got that down makes it so you're doing very well, but you need to move to more advantageous positions where you're like, oh, almost 100% sure you can't die there. Because Bastion, if you get to a point where Bastion can do all your, it's like you want to get to points where Bastion can do a ton of damage and the enemy can do almost none. Or they can do damage, but you can just leave if you need to, you know? Because Bastion's DPS out DPS is like 3 people, honestly, so... at distance, at least. So it's really important that you exploit the fact that Bastion's damage at range is still very good. But yeah, I guess that's all my advice for you. You need to learn where the spots are that are good for you. And going for more extravagant flanks is not a terrible plan. Anyways, that is my Bastion VOD review. Okay. You do well with some aiming, but I would practice it some. It seems like your aim needs some work, because if your aim's better, you start to run games a lot smoother. On PC, I practice my aim like almost every day. Not for very long. I do it for like 15 minutes, but still. Regardless, that's my advice to you. Have a good one. And if you want to check me out, here's I'm gonna put my shameless plug at the end here. You want to check me out on Twitch? It's twitch.tv LUCHU7. I'll type it right here. LUCHU7. Twitch. TV /7. And I stream Bastion gameplay on PSP specifically. All right. Do have a good one.